Does this work like it is? Does this pick up like it is? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Harry Daniels. I'm the Aboriginal Rights Director for the Research Director for the Métis Association of Alberta. Myself and Duke Redbird, who is the Vice President of the Native Council of Canada, representing 750,000 Métis and non-status Indians, we're supposed to make a statement here at 6 o'clock about Aboriginal rights and the government in action. And we ran into a logistical problem with the FACE group, but we are still going to go on and make our statement. If there's any dialogue after, we'll gladly enter into dialogue. However, we realize that there's going to have to be a show after, and we have to live within those time constraints. We are going to be making a statement right now, for those of you who wish to hear it, about the Aboriginal rights of the Métis and non-status Indians of Canada. And right now, I'd like to introduce the Vice President of the Native Council of Canada, Mr. Duke Redbird.
When the Native Council of Canada decided to attend Habitat, this was 2 years in the developing stages of progression from one committee meeting to another. And when we decided to participate in Habitat, we had hoped that the Canadian government and the delegation that was here representing Canada would give a sincere and fair and just effort to introduce the nature of the Aboriginal rights and land claims of the Indigenous people of Canada into the Canadian delegation's position in regards to the United Nations and to this World Conference. A number of our members of our association have been working with the non-government organizations, the NGOs, and have had direct contact with the Canadian government over the last 2 years in regards to the Aboriginal rights and land claims of the Native people of Canada. And we came to Vancouver hoping that this dialogue would continue and it would be met with a genuine, sincere effort on their part to bring our position clear to the other delegations. We found that this isn't so, that the Canadian delegation, in fact, does not want to enter into a dialogue regarding Aboriginal rights. And it was for this reason that we hoped that we could have a dialogue perhaps tonight here at the forum with the people who are attending Habitat, where we could explain what Aboriginal rights is, what the Indigenous land claims of the Native people is. And in order to give a little background, a historical background on the manner in which the Native people of Canada have arrived in the year 1976 to be in such a dispossessed state, human state in Canada, we have to go back to the origins of the Native people in North America and the original explorers who came here and settled in Canada. And we have to look at two different worlds. We have to look at the Western European world of 1492, and we have to look at the Native world of that same time. And we have to look at certain different concepts that the Native people of 1492 held and the kinds of concepts that the Western Europeans who came here, the ones that they held. Now we find that in the pre-Columbian times, the idea of land ownership in Western Europe was a concept where a white man owned land and then he built a castle on it, and his habitat was not a house but was actually a fortress to defend other people from taking that land away from him. And that was the kind of idea that he had. He had ideas that he considered essential to human civilization, and none of these ideas existed amongst Native people in North America before 1492. As some examples of this, we can look at what kind of a world the native people of North America lived in. They lived in a world without the so-called essentials of civilization. They lived without land ownership, without competition for personal gain, without police forces, without magistrates, without judges, without a written language, without legislated law, without organized political parties, without institutionalized religion. They lived without a concept of money. They lived without written language. And they were civilized. They were a people who had found the answers in North America to a lifestyle where they could live in a civilized social pattern without the so-called civilizing ingredients of the Roman Greco world of the Western European men. Now in that day, in the 1400s and the 1500s, the first explorers who came to North America and found the native people in such a utopian state, they took the ideas back to Western Europe, and in that day, the native person in North America was called the noble red man, the man who had found a type of lifestyle and a type of philosophy in regards to land, in regards to his habitat, that did not encroach upon his neighbors, did not produce armies, that did not seek territory for the sake of empire building.